Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we have the draft lottery results. It's a pretty big draft, and the Buffalo Sabres, who had the best odds at winning this year's draft lottery, they won the draft, and they will be selecting first overall. We'll be taking a look at the first, second, third, all those picks. We'll be taking a look at that in this video. So let's get right into it. So this is a great draft for one team in particular, and quite honestly, the other team that won the lottery as well. So everybody stayed the same for the most part, except two teams at the top. Well, one team at the top. So the Buffalo Sabres had the best odds of getting the first overall pick in this year's draft, and they selected first overall. There was a 30% chance that the Buffalo Sabres would win this year's lottery. So despite, being last place in the NHL, the chances were they weren't going to pick in the top two to begin with. But the odds fell in the Sabres' favor. They will be selecting first overall in the 2021 NHL Draft, and likely taking Owen Power. But even with that, there is still some debate, and I'll be getting into that here as we move along. So Buffalo has the number one pick. Seattle, the new expansion team, will be selecting second overall here in this year's NHL Draft. A lot of people feel it's rigged. Oh, Seattle shouldn't have won. They're not even a team. They haven't gone through the rebuilds. I know how you feel in that regard, but still, that's how it works. So Seattle gets the second pick. And the Anaheim Ducks are the only team to legitimately slide in the draft lottery, moving from the second spot to the third spot, which kind of sucks. But they still draft in the top three. For the Buffalo Sabres, selecting first overall, there's going to be some debate now at number one, because if the Buffalo Sabres decide that they're going to trade Jack Eichel, well, you'd think that they would go with the first overall pick here as a center. Now, the projected guy at number one is left shot defenseman Owen Power, but Matt Beniers has definitely been a name that we have been hearing could be a runner-up or potentially overthrow Owen Power at that number one spot. And a team like the Buffalo Sabres could make things interesting on draft day. Now, the second team here is the Seattle Kraken, and I think they will be selecting a center, so that's going to make things even more interesting. Now, if Owen Power is still on the board, they would gladly they're going to take one or the other, whether it's Matt Beniers or Owen Power. Whichever one Buffalo doesn't take, Seattle will take. And then that makes things interesting at 3 for the Anaheim Ducks, which is okay. The Ducks actually don't really lose this year's draft lottery, because with where they're selecting, they don't need a center anyway. They need defense. And they're going to have their cream of the crop in terms of the pick other than Owen Power. They're going to be able to pick Simon Edvinsson, Luke Hughes, Brett Clark. They're going to have their fair share of whichever one of those 3 or 4 guys that they want at the number 3 spot. So I'll be doing a mock draft. I don't want to give away all my little details here in this mock draft, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm very excited. This is a great opportunity here for the Buffalo Sabres. They'll be drafting first overall for the second time in 3 years, back when they won the Rasmus Dahlin sweepstakes. And they've also they lost the draft lottery, but drafted second overall to select Jack Eichel in the Connor McDavid draft. So the Buffalo Sabres have been at the top of the draft board for a while now. And people are finally wondering, people have been wondering, when are the Buffalo Sabres finally going to get things going? And now the question is, now you've got the first overall pick. So there's a lot of things you could do here. You could trade Jack Eichel and you get your number one center moving forward, whether that's Kent Johnson or Matt Beniers or William Eklund, whoever that ends up being. And then you could also get, some good draft capital, probably for a guy like Jack Eichel. You're probably looking at a top first-round pick here, plus you have the draft pick that you already have. The Buffalo Sabres could turn themselves around. Now imagine the scenario that now Jack Eichel sees that they have another first overall pick, and maybe he says, hey, you know what? I like this. This is a good opportunity. We could start over and go from there. And that'll keep guys like Sam Reinhart around with Jack Eichel staying. And it may be the difference between Rasmus Ristolainen staying in 2022 or deciding he wants to test free agency. There's all those possibilities. So, like I said, at number 1, the Buffalo Sabres. At number 2, the Seattle Kraken. And at 3, the Anaheim Ducks. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of the 2021 NHL Draft? It was rigged. It's BS. They can't do this. I think it was pretty fair. Obviously, the Sabres winning, a little bit sus. And obviously, Seattle. But you know what? That's how it works. We haven't seen, it's one of those things. I'm just relieved as an Islander fan not to see the Flyers, the Devils, or, God, heaven forbid, the New York Rangers in this top 2. So, thank you very much. Guys, if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more draft coverage just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.